If you want to avoid fighting about chores, the way you approach your partner is super important. If you approach your partner after it's been a couple of weeks or months sometimes of them not doing the thing that you're expecting them to do, but you haven't said anything because you don't want to start something, but the resentment is building and building and building in you, and then you finally approach them and it comes out as anger or an attack or a criticism to them, that conversation is not going to go well. Because what marriage researchers have found is that the way that you approach a topic, the way that you start a conversation, dictates how it's going to go. So if you start with guns blazing, the person's going to get defensive and they're going to put their wall up and they're going to not actually be able to hear what you're saying because their threat response is going to go off and all of their blood is going to flow into their body, preparing them to fight or flee. So keeping in mind this idea of a soft startup, which means there's a couple of parts to this, right? The first one is not letting it go too long before you say something. So when you notice that there's something that your partner's doing that's really bothering you, you want to say it while you're still feeling pretty calm about it. So let's say, they left the toilet seat up and it bothers you. You want to approach them in a soft way, saying something like, "Hey babe, would you mind putting the toilet seat down? I just have noticed that it's been up a little bit and, it really helps me in the middle of the night when I go to pee that I don't sit in the toilet," right? Raise your hand if that's happened to you. So you want to just say it in kind of like a lighthearted, sweet way that doesn't get their threat response going. And this is going to be helpful because they will actually be able to hear your message. And it will help them to feel light about the whole thing, not to feel like, oh, I've messed up again, nothing I do is ever right, because we can definitely get into that cycle where one person says, "Hey, do you mind doing this thing?" And the other person says, "Nothing I do is ever good enough," and on and on and on and on it goes. So you want to avoid that whole thing just by being light about it. And something that's really important here is that if you are not able to be light about it, let's say that this thing has happened and you know that you want to be light about it, but you're feeling so much anger, rage, resentment at your partner, that's a clue that there's something else going on here. Because yes, the stuff that your partner does around the house is probably super annoying, and it would be way better if they did different things, if they did more of the chores or whatever. But if you're really not able to be light about it, oftentimes it's not about the chore itself. That is definitely annoying. But oftentimes there's something going on underneath the surface. Maybe you're feeling super lonely. Maybe you're feeling rejected lately. Maybe you're feeling taken for granted, right? Maybe you're feeling underappreciated. There's so much that can go on in a relationship that manifests as anger about household chores, but really it's about how we feel in our relationship, how loved we feel, how connected we feel, how desired we feel, right? Those things impact us on such a deep level, and sometimes we're not aware of it, and so it comes out as anger about random stuff that is definitely annoying, and I'm not trying to take that away, but maybe not as rage inducing as the way that you're feeling currently, right? So if you are feeling a lot of emotion, if you are feeling like it's really, really hard to just talk to your partner in a kind way, there's probably something going on under the surface that deserves your attention, right? That's asking for your attention. So taking some time to journal about it, taking some time to even just talk to yourself, like go sit in your car, go for a drive, go for a long walk. Think about what is it that I'm really what's really bugging me, and then share that vulnerability with your partner. So for instance, if what's really bugging you is that you've been feeling really lonely lately, tell your partner in a way that is vulnerable and brings them in. Tell your partner, "I really miss you lately. I'm wondering if we can do this thing. Can we do a date night? Can we book our couples therapy session? Can we go do something connecting?" Offer them a solution along with the vulnerability that just says, "I'm struggling because I like you," right? Because we all want to know that our partner is like us. What can usually happen in the situation is you're feeling lonely and you say, and I'm not saying you say this, but some people can say, "You don't spend enough time with me. You're always out golfing. You're always on your phone. You don't really care about me." And then our partner's threat response goes up and they go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. No, I'm not." And they get into defense mode talking about, "I'm not always on my phone. I wasn't on my phone all morning." and then it becomes about something that's totally not what you wanted to talk about. So in order to avoid that whole thing, approach it with a softened startup, just like we were talking about with chores. Hey babe, do you have a few minutes to talk? If so, great. I've just been thinking lately about how much I miss you and how I really hope that we can have a date night. What do you think this Saturday? Oh, Saturday doesn't work for you? Okay, how about Sunday? Okay, great. Let's make a plan. So the way you approach talking about your discontent in relationship, which all of us feel discontented at times, all of us feel taken advantage of, all of us feel taken for granted, all of us feel lonely at times. It's the way you talk about it that either leads to further discontent and further disconnect, or it leads to greater connection, a feeling of more closeness, a feeling of we can handle anything that comes our way. So I hope that was helpful. I will be posting more videos because let's face it, relationships are super duper hard. They are hard for everyone. I don't know anyone that has a swimmingly easy relationship that has always been swimmingly easy. So what we need are relationship skills, and that's what this channel teaches. So if you are interested in creating the best relationship that you possibly can, subscribe to this channel, follow along. I will give you as many tips as I possibly can. I'm Jena. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.